Taped.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the regular meeting of the Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation Commission. Today is Tuesday, June 17th, and the time is 6:04. We have, we'll do a roll call.
Aaron Borey.
Mark Ingram.
Rod Gray.
Kenneth Trimble.
Sam Dudley.
And that's 4 of us, so we do have a quorum. Beth Giltner is out with notice, and I'm assuming that Ruth and Ruth will, one of them will walk in sometime during the thing, but it's 6:04, so we're going to get started since we don't have a big agenda anyway. First thing we have is the agenda, actually. So has everybody looked it over, and does anybody have anything to say, or do they want to?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion from Rod and a second from Ken. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's 4-0. Okay, so then we have the minutes from our last meeting on May 20th. I'm assuming everybody has reviewed those as they were on the database. So anybody want to?
I move to approve the minutes of the May 20th meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Aaron, second by Ken. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. Okay, we have public comment. Do we have any public that wants to comment? I can't see out there because the light is literally right by. So no public. And then chairperson's comments. I have one little thing. We had our workshop the other day. 2 Tuesdays ago, I guess now, and we talked about fundraising and all that kind of stuff. And the paper did a great job of writing up sort of what happened. But in the paper, it made it sound like we were complaining about the events that happened. I don't know how it made it sound that, because I didn't read it from there, but there were a couple of comments and things. So just want to be clear, we were not complaining about any of that stuff. We're thinking of revenue generation ideas for the park services, so for all of you that are listening. And we're excited about all the stuff that happens in Basin Park. And I was personally just asking why the Parks Department doesn't have anything to do with the scheduling or the permitting of anything that does happen in the park. So just to clarify that so everybody out listening understands that. And that's really the only thing I have. I feel like there's one more thing I was going to talk about, but I can't remember, so I guess it's not that important. So we'll move on to our director's report.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to just make a quick clarification, sort of in the same vein as Mark, different topic, but at last month's meeting, I thanked Bruce Wright for the 2 volunteer jobs he did at Basin Park over the last year, setting the stones and plaques under the fire bell and the Spanish-American Memorial Crystal. Thank you to Bruce for that. However, the way it was articulated in the newspaper, am I too loud? Might have made it sound as if he was the one who was behind all the recent things that happened in the park, the major overhauls. That was not Bruce. That was, in fact, Stacy Mahurin and his crew from Stacy Stoneworks, working under a contract with Ledbetter Construction. So just want to clarify that so everyone knows. I didn't actually read the article myself, but sometimes, like Mark was saying, sometimes things get a little, people read things certain ways. So on that note, we have been seeing how well the recent changes have impacted the functionality of Basin Park, with many large-scale events having taken place over the last few weeks: the Blues Fest, Diversity Weekend, the Elvis Festival. All of these have been very successful, and people seem pretty excited about the new improved look as well as the new functionality of the park. You know, there's more electrical outlets available, there's the water available, there's the trees for shade, so everyone seems pretty excited about it. Elsewhere, planning for Jamboree is in full swing. We have t-shirts ordered, parking areas mapped out, food and merchandise vendors lined up, Fireworks have been approved by the state, as well as the ABC for Gotta Hold to be there. Other necessities are locked down, such as porta potties, dumpsters, any other things that we need for that, the foam pits, the water games, stuff like that. And just to go over all this, we'll be having an official Jamboree planning meeting at the ball fields on June 24th from 3 to 5 p.m. I sent y'all an invite on your emails. I don't think it'll take that long, but I just went and scheduled it from 3 to 5, just in case, since we have to let the newspapers and all them know. And we'll go over all the logistics in more detail and on site, so it's a little easier to, envision how it's all going to go down. Also, we're having a fundraiser at Gotta Hold this Friday, June 20th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. This event is to help us raise funds for the design and production of a new entryway sign at Lake Leatherwood. And when I say entry sign, it's like right when you pull up to the park, like where the playground is and all that. And this was designed by Gypsy Graphics, who's a local artist here, so thank you to Jamie. Gotta Hold has been gracious enough to host this for us, free of charge. Beverages are, of course, available at Gotta Hold. Twisted Taco food truck will be on site for anyone who gets hungry. We'll be selling T-shirts, other merchandise, as well as selling raffle tickets. The winner of the raffle will receive a free one-night stay in one of our beautiful cabins.
They are beautiful.
I was waiting for you to give me a hard time about not asking permission for that, but
No.
I talked to Juanita today, and I was like, we need raffle tickets for Jamboree. What if we do a raffle Gotta Hold too for the fundraiser? And then, yeah, if you buy a T-shirt, you get a raffle ticket kind of thing. And then also, big shout out to Scott Thompson and Don Matt, who will be performing some live music from 6 to 7 p.m. at the event. So thank you to them. Speaking of signs, we should be receiving our newest batch of pocket maps any day now. Once they arrive, we will inform business owners that they are welcome to pick up batches of up to 50 at a time at the Harmon Park office the Harmon Park office. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Thank you to the CAPC for funding the production of these once again. With this also comes the completion of the trail modification overhauls we did this year and the installation of the new corresponding trail signs. So all of our maps, all of our trails, everything's like up to date where we want it to be. Also at Leatherwood, I'll pass this around so you guys can see it. The construction of the workshop is nearing completion. We got spray foam coming in Thursday, so we got all the electric done and everything's looking good. We did landscaping today with a skid steer rental and some gravel. I wrote down in here, I wish I could describe to you all how much of a transformation this area has undergone. When I started back in March 2021, this area was practically unusable. So I'm very excited to see this job completed and give our employees a proper place to work at Lake Leatherwood. So thanks to you guys for approving that money being
Wow,
spent.
that does look good. Looks great.
It looks great.
Once the workshop is done, we will be in heads down mode for the remainder of the year as we attempt to gradually refill some of the funds that we spent in what has been a fairly expensive year so far. So
We better. Or it's going to be a cheap year next year. All right. Yeah, I wanted to reiterate, I meant that was the thing I forgot I was going to talk about on the chairperson's comments was the Friday fundraiser. So everybody tell everybody it's a good time anyway, and you can get a shirt.
come get a shirt.
Come get a shirt.
Might win a night stay at the cabins.
Yeah. Committee reports, we don't have any. We have no old business or new businesses, so we just really have commissioners' comments. I will say, Sam asked me this week, do you have anything to put on the agenda? I'm like, I don't really have anything, so I just wanted to put it out to you guys. If y'all ever have anything you want on the agenda, all you have to do is tell Samurai, maybe Samurai.
Samurai.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Sometime the week before we're meeting, just let us know what you would like to have on the agenda. because we have to notify the city and they had to put it on the website and everything. But, you guys are all welcome to add something to the agenda that you want to discuss about it in the meeting. So make sure you let us know. We've been so busy. Everything's been done. We've got Jamborica. We just had the part. So we don't really have a lot of extra things that we're trying to now. And then after July, maybe we'll get into whatever the next thing is. But right now, we're pretty good. Okay, we'll go around the room and do commissioners' comments. Let's count.
None at this time?
Got anything, Rod?
I don't actually have any.
Ken?
No, I don't really have anything. It is good to see the workshop, though, coming together. I'm curious, is that going to have like a full garage door then on the front?
Oh, yes, I mean, it does, yeah, I don't know if you can
does.
tell from the picture.
It was just fully open, is that?
In the workshop the new one that we built is kind of way in the back in that photo. So it has a single normal door and then a big, 9x8 or whatever size it is garage door on the front too. So we can pull vehicles in there if we ever need to, which it also has a carport on the front, which is 10 feet deep. So like we probably don't ever need to pull vehicles in. We can just park them under the carport.
Okay.
But the garage doors kind of came
And we
with the
can lock
package,
equipment
so-
in there, right?
Yes, and we could lock equipment in there, which is important. Yeah.
All right.
And one other comment, I just happened to, and being retired, it's a whole different calendar thing. I think next Tuesday, for the next workshop, if we were going to talk about the parking area at Leatherwood, I won't be there.
You won't be there? Okay.
We scheduled,
We'll do that following workshop that we have, which is probably the week after.
Yeah, so this next Tuesday, we're just doing it
It's just all about-
specifically for Jamborica,
Jamborica.
but then we'll still have the first Tuesday in July.
Oh, okay.
So if
Yeah.
you want to do it out there,
Yeah.
that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Grandparent weekend, so.
I'll probably be sleeping out there the last few days before Jamborica anyway, so
And a couple days after.
fine, yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about, but Rod, while we were at the last workshop, you were assigned all of the duties. So our next workshop, we'll go over what those are with you.
All the duties at Jamborica?
No, all the duties of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Fundraising.
fine. We'll wait.
You have a pretty serious.
I'm not allowed to talk about it until the next meeting.
Yeah, we can talk about it at the next
I was going
workshop.
to ask questions, what did y'all assign me?
You got a pretty serious fundraising quota, so you better get on it.
Okay, well, if I find out what it is now, I could get busy, couldn't I? But if I had to wait a week,
Well, you might just
delay the
have to
money.
go listen to our meeting.
I know.
Anyway, okay. All right. With that, all we need is a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion from Ken and a second from Aaron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.